Okay, welcome back, America, India, and Taylor Swift. I'm going to move on to the second type of special right triangle. It has a relationship that we can memorize, and it's a shortcut to find the lengths of the legs that are missing. Okay, so what this says, first of all, we have to identify this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. Usually it will only give us one of these angles, the 30 or the 60, but it always tells us this is a 90-degree angle. So if this is 30, this angle's 30, and this angle's 90, then this one has to be 60 because 30 plus 60 plus 90 adds up to 180. Are you with me? Okay, so once you identify that it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle, we know it's special, and we've got a shortcut we can use. And here's the shortcut. Back from Unit 5, another thing we learned was the shortest leg is across from the smallest angle. So in this triangle, the 30 degrees is the smallest angle, which makes this side the shortest leg. This is the short side. This is the middle angle, 60 degrees. So this is called the long side, and this is definitely the hypotenuse because it's the longest side and it's across from the right angle. So we have a short leg, a long leg, and a hypotenuse, okay? The previous triangle, the 45, 45, 90 triangle, we had the length of the legs were the same, which was nice. But here we've got a short leg and a long leg and a hypotenuse. The relationship between the lengths of the long side and the hypotenuse, they revolve around the length of the short side, which we just, whatever that length is, we call that X or our whole amount, okay? We take whatever that amount is and we multiply it by the square root of 3 to get the long leg, and we multiply it by 2 to get the hypotenuse. Now, the reason why we do this is if we consider this to be 1, then this is 1 times root 3, and this is 2. Think about those numbers. If I had to put them in chronological order, is that the right word? 1, 2 would not go next. Square root of 3 would go next. And then 2, because square root of 3 is in between 1 and 2. It's like 1 point and some stuff. So one way to remember this is the length of the short side times square root of 3 gives us the long leg, and the short side times 2 gives us the hypotenuse. So that's the relationship we need to memorize. So we go to the first problem, and we see that we are given, this is 60 degrees, so we know this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle, 30, 60, 90, which makes it special. That tells us 30 degrees, this side is the short side, it's across from 30 degrees. This side is the long side, it's across from the 60, and this side is the hypotenuse. The short side times the square root of 3 gives us the long leg. So the long leg is just 8 root 3. And then the short side times 2 gives us the hypotenuse, and they've already given us that at 16. How are we doing? Totally new. The hardest one is coming up. When they give us the short side, it's pretty simple. We can just multiply the square root of 3 by the square root of 3 or by the square root of 2. However, if they give us the long leg, we have to do the opposite operation of multiplying by 3, which is dividing by the square root of 3. We're going to do that in a minute. So look at this problem. They told us this angle is 60, this is 30, so this is a 30, 60, 90, okay? But what they've given us is across from the 60 degrees, which makes this side the long side, and this is the short side, which is fine, but before we can figure out the hypotenuse, we are going to have to take our long side and divide by the square root of 3 to get the short side. So the way we do that is 15 divided by the square root of 3. Rationalize the denominator, and you'll have to memorize these relationships. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is 3. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 15, 5 times. So this, what did I just find? The short side is 5 root 3. To get the hypotenuse, I take that short side and I multiply it by 2. So that will be 10 root 3. Questions? We good? All right, my video is 5 minutes long. Let's see if I can do the next problem. All right, let's do it. Let's do it, why not? 30, 60, 90 triangle. The side they gave us is across from 30 degrees. Even though in the diagram it looks like it's the longest side, it's not because it's across from the 30. So we have to go with what they tell us. So here's the short side. Oh, that's nice, they gave us the short side. So we can multiply it by the square root of 3 to get the long side. So 21 square root of 3 times the square root of 3. This is just 3. Root 3 times root 3. So this says 21 times 3, which is 63. And then to get the hypotenuse, we take the short side and times it by 2. And that's just going to be 42 root 3. That's it. Questions? It takes practice. But once you get it, you're either multiplying by square root of 3 or dividing by square root of 3, or multiplying by 2 or dividing by 2.